Hey guys, it's Shannon with True Crime with Shannon, and I'm back with another video. But before we get into today's video topic, if you do me a quick favor, if you like the content that you're seeing, hit that like button for me, that thumbs up button. That'll help the video get more traction here on YouTube. And also, if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? I really do love each and every one of my subscribers. I am about 40... That's it. That's right. 40 subscribers away from the 500, which is a key mark to get a community tab here on YouTube as I record this video. So I appreciate you guys. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit the notification bell. If you could do that, I would really appreciate it. It would be awesome if I could hit that number this week. Okay. But before I get into today's topic, let me do a missing persons. I do like to feature a missing person on every video. Now this one is relatively new. I just saw it posted today. I looked for a pretty recent one. However, as always, if you have a missing person, child, an adult that you would like me to feature here on the channel, you can send that to my email, which is always in the information of every single video that I post here on YouTube. This one here is a critical missing child. This is Jaylin Roberts. He is missing since Saturday. So today is Monday as I post this video. So he's been missing since Saturday the 6th. So today's the 8th, around 10 a.m. it looks like. And what it says is the Metropolitan Police Department is seeking the public's assistance in locating 13-year-old Jaylin Roberts, who was last seen in the 3700 block of Haynes Street Northeast on Saturday, August 6, 2022. Jaylin Roberts is described as a black male, 5'1", 101 pounds, with black hair and brown eyes. His clothing description is unknown. So unfortunately, they don't know what he was wearing, but this is a good photo of him that they have here. And if you do have any information about this young teenager, if you could please contact the authorities on it. They are asking, there's a couple different, actually there's a few different numbers here. If you want to do an anonymous tip, you can call 202-727-9099. You can also text any tips to 504-411. Again, that's text to 50411. And they include the Youth and Family Services Division at 202-576-6768. And then the Command Information Center it's 202-727-9099, which I guess is the same number as the anonymous tip line, it looks like here. So this young man is missing out of Washington, D.C. Again, he's been missing since Saturday, August 6th, around the 3700 block of Hayes Street Northeast. If you are in that area, please take note of this 13-year-old male here. And please do contact authorities if you have any information about Jaylin Roberts. I will also post that in the information of this video for everyone. Okay, so today there has been an update on the Gabby Petito front. I did not expect any updates this week, and I know I'm not the only one. A lot of us, this press conference kind of threw me for a loop because I haven't expected much to come up in this case for a bit here, because the last time we heard, it was all about the laundry lawsuit and that it's going forward at this time. We just haven't heard much else on it. Today there was a press conference stating that the Gabby Petito's family is filing a $50 million wrongful death lawsuit against the Moab, Utah Police Department. Now, this is off of WFLA out of Tampa, which is, again, one of my favorite news sources. And I actually saw the live press conference earlier today. I will play it here as well through their feed and JB Buno. Let's see. Let me read you guys the update here, and I will play the video, and I can discuss a bit. This one here has me a little bit for a loop, so you guys let me know what you think as well. Let's see. The family of Gabby Petito has filed a wrongful death lawsuit for $50 million in damages against the Moab City Police Department related to their handling of a domestic incident between Petito and her then fiance, Brian Laundrie. According to a Monday press release, lawyers representing Petito's family alleged that Petito would have still been alive had officers been properly trained to handle domestic violence situations. Moab City Police Department has been plagued by high turnover, lack of leadership, and dangerous mismanagement for years, said James McConkey, one of the attorneys representing the Petito family. McConkey said the department had been neglecting to give proper resources to its officers, calling it a, quote, institutional failure. On August 12, 2021, Moab Police responded to a call about an argument between the two stopping their van near the entrance of Arches National Park. Now, a lot of us did recall seeing this video, and I actually will go over this video if anyone's interested, but I'm sure most people have seen this at least once or twice in the last, less than a year, but we could definitely go through it again. Police found Petito crying uncontrollably during the traffic stop. Officials say Petito told officers that she had been struggling with her mental health and that she had been arguing with Laundrie, leading to their altercation. Laundrie told authorities that he and Petito had been traveling for 4 to 5 months at the time, which caused a strain on their relationship. He said during their argument in Moab, he tried to separate Petito from himself so they could calm down. According to the attorneys for the Petito family, the 22-year-old woman was on the phone with her parents during the incident, who demanded that she get away from Laundrie. Petito's parents offered to pay for her to ride to Salt Lake City and fly home, but when they learned that the police were involved, they accepted Gabby's assurances that she could continue her trip. At the time, the Moab police officers determined the situation was not a domestic assault, considering it a mental health crisis. An officer at the scene also classified Petito as the primary aggressor in the incident and decided to separate the two for the night. He's going to a hotel. I'm giving you the keys to the van. I'm giving him a ride to a hotel. Everything will be okay, the officer said. However, this incident ended up putting the Moab Police Department in the spotlight after Laundrie returned from the couple's trip to his family's home in Northport, Florida, without Petito, launching a search for the missing 22-year-old woman. Petito's remains would later be found in Grand Teton National Park in Wyoming, with the local coroner determining the cause of death to be manual strangulation. Weeks later, Laundrie's remains were found in the Micahachie Creek Environmental Park. Authorities later determined he died by suicide after disappearing from his parents' house. The controversial nature of the Moab Police Department's handling of the earlier domestic incident raised questions on whether officers could have done more to intervene, saving Gabby's life. An independent review by another police agency determined that the officers made unintentional mistakes while responding to the situation. I am confident and comfortable in stating the mistakes that were made were not made intentionally, the review from the Price City Police Department said. The officers did not know what they were doing was wrong at the time, and they did not make the decision to benefit themselves in any way. They both believed at the time that they were making the right decision based on the totality of the circumstances that were presented. The review also said that while Petito was the predominant aggressor in the Moab incident, it was very likely that Petito was reacting to long-term domestic violence at Laundrie's hands. Gabby had a job in which she left in order to travel the country with Brian, the report said. Gabby was trying to start an online career, which Brian didn't support or believe she could accomplish. Brian tried locking Gabby out of the van in an attempt to control her movements. Brian said he was trying to make Gabby calm down, and Gabby said she was trying to get Brian to stop telling her to calm down. Gabby also said Brian kept telling her to shut up. The officer who wrote the report also said it's impossible to answer whether Petito would be alive if the case were handled differently. The Petito family previously filed a wrongful death lawsuit against the Laundrie's parents for allegedly unintentional acts that led to their daughter's death. A motion to dismiss that lawsuit was denied in June 2022. All right, now I actually do agree with that report. The family is saying that if the police would have done something differently, I guess if they would have maybe locked them both up in jail, or put Gabby in some sort of domestic, help of some sort, domestic violence help, it may have changed it and she may be alive today. Unfortunately, there's no way for us to know that that is truly what would happen. I mean, they could have both been arrested and then appeared before a judge maybe the next day or what have you, the next business day. I don't know if I forget if this was a weekend or not. And maybe they both would have been released on their own recognizances and had to come back, and maybe do an appearance later date. And that still may have not have changed matters. So that's one of those things where you would hope that she would have been okay, but I don't think there's any way to truly know. Now, as far as this lawsuit goes, I am highly, highly supportive, and a lot of you guys do know that from the channel here. I'm very supportive of Gabby's family, her parents, but this particular lawsuit, I've got a lot of mixed feelings on it, to be honest. I don't know if this is the right move. I mean, that's obviously not, that's not mine or anybody else's place to decide what the right moves are. I'm just hoping that the Petito Schmidt lawyers are doing the right thing by going after the Moab police and that. I don't know. I mean, I think that it's just one of those things. I would just really like to come out of this is for not only for Moab Police Department and all those departments over there, but for the totality of all these police departments to come out with better training or resources for domestic violence situations. But, again, I don't know if that's legitimately ever going to truly happen in all these departments with all this defund the police and all that sort of stuff. But in all honesty, I think that if it could save some other couples' lives in the future, that would be, really great. But sadly, you can't turn back the clock and, and save Gabby at this point. And as much as we think that putting them, not separating him into a hotel and her with the van, would that have saved, Gabby's life? Again, maybe not. But it's just one of those things that, you can't go back and say, what if? Because it's just not going to happen. But like I said, I don't know if a lawsuit is going to really benefit this case. But again, I mean, like I said, I'm not supportive of the Petito Schmidts, but I'm also very unsure. I'm kind of on the borderline of it. But let me play the press conference here, and you guys can hear part of it here, the press conference that they had on earlier today.
Parker McConkie is basically a litigation law firm. Zimmerman Boer specializes in appellate work, and we're grateful for their help and assistance. What I'd like to do this morning is I'll make a very brief statement, but and then we'll have a 10-minute question and answer period for Brian Stewart. And he can bring you up to date on the legal process and what we're doing. We're filing this morning what's known as a notice of intent, and Brian will address that and the legal implications. And then we'll give you 10 minutes with the step-parents of Gabby Petito. I've asked them not to come.
Now, they were not present. They were appearing via Zoom. And the sound from this does seem to be a little odd. But these, I guess, are all the legal lawyers on the side of the Petito Schmidt family here.
Comment on specific evidence. But you are free to ask questions, and they're free to comment on why they're bringing this lawsuit and what their feelings are. Let me begin with just a brief opening statement to set the stage. Gabby Petito's parents have asked the law firms of Parker and McConkie and Zimmerman Boer to represent them in a lawsuit against the Moab Police for their negligent failure to first understand the law and enforce it, and second, for the wrongful death of their daughter. In this regard, this morning we have filed a notice of claim, which is the first step in initiating future litigation. Gabby's parents are bringing this lawsuit to honor Gabby's legacy by working to save the lives of victims of domestic violence throughout the United States and the world. This lawsuit is only one part of a broader effort to raise awareness of intimate partner violence and its potential dangers. They have set up the Gabby Petito Foundation. This foundation has already donated hundreds of thousands of dollars to groups focusing on intimate and domestic violence, including a $100,000 donation last week to the National Domestic Violence Hotline, which I'm sure you're aware of.
Yeah, last week there was a clip and about another news station did cover that they spoke with Nicole Schmidt. They donated a large amount from the Gabby Petito Foundation to a domestic violence hotline because there's not enough folks to be able to man those calls, and sadly people calling into the lines are having to wait on hold for longer than they should be. So that was a major help for that.
They hope their efforts to help will save lives and give meaning to the senseless, avoidable, and tragic murder of their daughter. Ryan?
Now, I have not seen any filings yet on this, and the couple sources that I usually get filings from have not posted any filings. So as soon as I get that, I will let you guys know as well on this. So this was, like I said, this was a pre-filing, I believe, so I don't think there's much paperwork yet.
Good morning, and thank you for being here. As my partner Jim said, my name is Brian Stewart, and I'm grateful to be with you today and grateful for your attention to this important case. I will just say that at the outset that the purpose of this lawsuit is just one part of the family's broader effort to raise awareness and education to protect victims of domestic violence, and to help make sure that our governmental institutions are held to account and that they are given the resources and training that they need to do their jobs in the effective way that they would want to, and to do it in a way that protects the most vulnerable members of our society and will prevent tragedies such as this one from happening again. Our purpose in filing the lawsuit, and the family wants to be clear about this, is not to punish individual officers, but is to honor the efforts of dedicated police officers. And while it is tough to do, we feel a responsibility to support them by demanding that changes needed to help them do their job better will be accomplished. We believe that the only effective way to correct these problems is to hold our institutions accountable for their failures, including in law enforcement. But as we said, this is just part of a larger effort to help other people and other victims of domestic violence understand that there are resources and that there are helps available, and that they can rely on those and rely on the response of law enforcement.
See, I completely agree with that. Still, the lawsuit part, I think, is where myself and some others are a little bit on the fence about. I'm totally with them on making sure that there's as much protection and training as far as the law enforcement goes, for sure.
The family will tell you, but that they, throughout this last year, have been received many, many messages from victims of domestic violence who have told their stories of how they were inspired to get out of dangerous situations and to protect themselves and to seek out resources. And again, while it's difficult to do these things for the family, they feel a responsibility to honor Gabby's legacy by doing this work. And now I'll take any questions you may have about, I guess, what we're doing today, and if you have any questions about the purpose of the lawsuit or the procedure of the law.
Why don't these officers qualify for governmental immunity under the law?
There is a governmental immunity statute in Utah, and we believe that these officers were negligent, and that their negligence contributed to the cause of Gabby's death. And we believe that the law in Utah there's some conflict in terms of the governmental immunity statute and the Utah Constitution's protection of the right to bring causes of action for wrongful death. The Utah Constitution says that right shall not be infringed, and that is the supreme law on the subject in Utah. Yes? Well, I again don't want to get into specifics of.
It is hard to hear them, but this guy sounds like he's asking negligence, like what did they do wrong?
Of what happened that day. There's a lot of information that has been made available, but there's much information that is not yet available publicly. But I will say that we do agree with the findings of the investigative report that the officers failed to recognize the serious danger that she was in and failed to investigate fully and properly. They did not have the training that they needed to recognize the clear signs that were evident that morning, that Gabby was a victim and that she was in serious need of immediate help. It was also clear from the officers themselves and the findings of the report that they did not understand the law and did not apply the law properly in Gabby's situation.
That is, I agree with.
In this circumstance, is the lawsuit sure to file, or are you waiting for a response before filing a lawsuit?
A notice of intent or a notice of claim is required by the statute in order to bring a case against the government in Utah. That is a precursor to being able to file a lawsuit. That typically happens a year before the year anniversary of a loss. In this case, Gabby's interaction with Moab City Police Department was on August 12th, 2021, and unfortunately the time of her actual death is unknown, but we're filing that notice now to comply with that requirement. The government can reply or not reply, and then after a time period, the plaintiff is allowed to go ahead with making their claim by filing a lawsuit.
What is that time period?
Well, it depends on whether or not the government responds, but they have 60 days to respond. If they deny the claim earlier, then the time for filing begins earlier.
Is there any evidence known that Moab Police does not release or that you guys are aware of?
I'm not going to comment on more information in terms of the evidence, but the FBI has extensive information that was collected throughout the search for Gabby that has not yet been released, although their investigation has been deemed to be completed. Any others? Okay.
Okay, thank you, Brian. And Dick Baldwin at the end there came in, and he's the representative from the Zimmerman Boer law firm. We're glad you're here this morning. Now, if you'd like to ask for just a couple of minutes any questions from the family about why they're bringing this lawsuit and what their feelings are, please feel free to address your questions to anyone on the screen here. Yes.
Okay, so they're gonna have, so today would be August 8th, so you have September, October. So it looks like by early October we're gonna know if Moab, I guess, responds to this lawsuit. So let's see what the family has to say. They did speak with Nicole a lot, and also Joe spoke a bit here.
Natalie, I noticed that you're very emotional this morning. What's going through your head? What's kind of situation you're feeling right now? Nicole, sorry, thank you.
That's okay. This is just bringing back a lot of pain. Sorry. We just want to help people. We're going to do whatever we can. And that's why we're here. Yeah.
Yes, go ahead.
Another one for you, Nicole. You and the Gabby Petito Foundation have spent almost the last year raising awareness of domestic violence and for missing persons. Do you have any message today for people who are victims of these abusive relationships?
About just reach out when you can and get the help that you need. You're better than that, and you can get out. Just do it safely. Reach out to someone that you trust. I don't know. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just so emotional today. And everybody else wants to help me answer that.
There's a ton of resources out there. We've partnered with the National Domestic Victims Hotline through our foundation. They do amazing work as well as many other organizations out there. There's a ton of people out there that are willing to help. We're there trying to help. It's anonymous. Get the help you need. Do it quickly. Do it safely. Do it the right way. Reach out to the experts. So you can get the help. Get yourself into a safe place. That's our goal.
People care. We care. There are people that care, and we should, everyone out there should know that there are people that will do whatever we can to help. And that's it. People care, and just know it, and reach out, we'll be there.
Yes, back there.
Yeah, I have a question for your parent, but did you feel like things were stacked against you at the very beginning? From law enforcement to Ryan, Florida, everything. Wrap it up.
What I know is that she's not here. Yeah, so, no, I'm not going to answer that, to be honest with you. It's not about that right now.
Yes, go ahead.
So I know you're not supposed to comment on things in the lawsuit, but I'm assuming that you have seen the video of the interaction in Moab. And is there anything you can tell me about how you felt watching that and what you wish you could have done or any feelings associated with that?
I think that I've said this now. Watching it is very painful, and I wanted to jump to the screen and rescue her. That's all I can really say about that.
Okay, let's take one more question. Out there. Yes, at the back.
Yeah, what do you want the public to remember? Yeah. How do you want us to remember?
I love that question. Go ahead, Joe.
Use your story. Learn from it. There's so much you can take from it. Her legacy is to help people, that don't see a way out, and there are. And use her as the life that she was to us, and proper planning and safety and people that care. Just start. You're worth it.
Thank you. Go ahead.
On that.
Yes, go ahead.
As parents, we can never fully wrap our heads around the entire situation and what happened. But all we can hope is that Gabby's legacy and her memory will be a positive one. That through our tragedy and all the heartache that we go through daily, it's not a day that goes by that we're not talking about her, thinking about her. But her legacy to be one that is long-lasting and positive, that helps people. And the people see her and they recognize her and can possibly compare maybe what they're going through in their life and see it and make a positive change in their life to be better so it doesn't happen to them. So they're not in the same place that we are right now.
Thank you, Gabby's parents, for being available today via Zoom. We appreciate your presence here. We're honored to file this lawsuit on your behalf and try to bring about justice and meaning in this situation and help others recognize the danger signs and help others see how they can escape from situations that are difficult and tragic. Thank you, members of the press, for being here today. We appreciate your presence. In the coming months, we'll be filing a complaint. The Petitos will be in Utah at that time so that you can have freer access to them. And we will let you know in a couple of months when we're filing that legal document. Thank you for being here.
Okay, so that was pretty much the press conference today. And like I said, I feel I've always felt completely for this family. But I don't know if a lawsuit against the Moab Police Department is the right thing. But again, I'm not Gabby's mom and dad and the rest of her family, so I have very mixed feelings on the lawsuit. I'm fully in support of the family and whatever they want to do. I'm a huge supporter of the foundation, the Gabby Petito Foundation, and most definitely the civil lawsuit against, Chris and Roberta Laundrie, and of course Brian Laundrie's estate. So that was pretty much the update today. If you guys would like me to go over the Moab video, let me know. It is, they do, if you saw me going through it, it is linked on WFLA's article as well, and I will link to it in the information of this video, because I haven't gone through that here on the channel, because like I said, I'm starting to cover this a little bit later in the game here, because I was on YouTube, but I wasn't doing my channel at that point during all this. So but let me know if you want me to cover it and do any commentary, and we can also do a live on it. I don't know if you guys have had enough of that, or if you're interested in going through it. Let me know either way. But that's going to be it for today. I do appreciate you guys checking out the channel. Please let me know what you think in the comments. Are you for the lawsuit against the Moab Police Department? Are you like me and you're kind of mixed? Are you kind of you understand it, but you're not so sure it's the right thing. You know, you're all for the change, but you know, the whole money situation is a bit, you know, you're on the fence on it. Or, you know, are you totally against it? You know, let me know. I mean, just be respectful in the chat, you know, in the comments rather. And everybody's allowed to have an opinion. And I do appreciate every single one of you guys. And on your way out, if you would hit that like button if you haven't already and hit subscribe, I really would appreciate it. And again, I will put the missing persons link to that poster and all the information in the information of this video. So that's it. I hope you guys have a great day and stay safe.